episode 26, and Nicoletta, go.
Hello, welcome back. I've just got distracted because as I was waiting for this to start, I've just seen, it's gone. It's gone out of my face. Never mind. Hello everybody, I hope you're very well. I hope that you enjoyed the Silver Jubilee edition. It was very exciting to be a part of that, obviously. And obviously the come down today is like, full on. But never mind, I've got my stripy top on for you, for your viewing pleasure. This was a bit of a hit, this jumper, apparently. Which does also mean that it's incredibly hot because it's boiling outside, but because people like this top, I have changed into it. So yeah, see, I'm doing everything for the Jigsaw fraternity, which is marvellous. Right, so here we are. Now, you might want to know what this is. Can you see that? Right, so John in the Shires, father of Henry, Shires, who's making his own elderflower cordial and his own elderflower champagne. I think I mentioned it yesterday. Anyway, he messaged me today and sent this picture because he sat on this earlier in his garden, and he thought it was hilarious, and he messaged me because it's in fact called a cockchafer. And I'm sure some of you have had a cockchafer in your life, but not necessarily the beetle version. So John messaged me immediately, even though he was still smarting from it, because he's completely sussed the nature of JigJaw. Good. So right, here's the puzzle for people who are buffoons and have turned into this one. There we go. And I'm going to put that there for a minute. I have to refer to it quite a lot. I've got my areas, I've got my beetle now. I thought that Claire from Beckenham, her mum was going to get in the way with her frilly skirts, but turns out a cockchafer is even a bigger hindrance. Who knew? Right, okay, so what news? So I had a message from Nathan in Australia. I should show you him. Come back, Nate. Where are you? Here we go. I'm just going to go through my very big computerised system. This is Nate. The pale version and the not pale, the mahogany shelf, the mahogany cupboard version. Right, had a message from him today because I haven't heard from him for a couple of days, and he what was that about? Oh, he said, do you remember when we were in Canada and there was a funny story about me leading a dance call? And I do, so thank you very much. Thank you, sir, for messaging me about that, because this is hilarious. So Nathan is, let's just say, he likes a jazz pump, and he likes silver llama shorts, right? And he's a dancer. So I don't think I need to say much more. Okay. Oh, and apart from the fact he's got his own shop, and you know all this, right? Okay, we've sussed it. Anyway. So when we were working in Canada, he was given a section of the show, which was the hip hop and street version, the element that's street and hip hop. Right now, I don't know if you can look at that and think, I've never seen anybody who's less hip hop. Anyway, he was given that section, and he was very excited, as you would be as a lead choreographer. So he turned up to the rehearsal. You know, we've worked with him for a long time, and we sensed that he likes a sparkly shoe, and he likes a sparkly hot pant, and everything clings a bit. Anyway, this particular rehearsal, it was the first hip hop call, right? First hip hop rehearsal. And he came towards us in this sort of, I can only describe as some sort of rap tracksuit. Hi. So he arrived in a tracksuit, and he had a bandana, right, around his head. First thing to make you laugh, a bandana, right? I'd absolutely gone. But the bandana wasn't just like kind of roughly tied round like a street performer, like someone who was about to spin on his back. No, it was ironed. The square was ironed and then rolled, ironed, rolled, ironed, flat. So it was round his head in a perfect form. And he turned up and he just started, trying to feel hip, and this wasn't the person we knew. He came unfortunately to me, so I was merciless. I didn't know what was going on, and I think I probably wet myself a bit. Well, just generally laughing at him. I won't say with him because he thought he was the coolest ever. Anyway, so he was going to lead this call, and I said, "Oh, Nay, what's your street name, Nay?" And he told me his address. He said, Jude, it's Unit, because they call everything a unit in Australia to live in. It's Unit 7, and it's this. He told me his actual home address and postcode. I said, no, you nut. Your street name, like yo, Nathan, yo, or something, like something like that, because I am so street, I can say that. Well, that was it, he's gone. We just laughed so much because he started giving me his address and entire postcode. What's your street name? What a nut.
What's that?
That is a cockchafer, Beth. That's what Uncle John sat on today. You just missed me explaining that. Anyway, so he went on to lead this call, right? So he had all these street dancers, and they were from all over Canada, and they were really cool. And they hadn't ironed their bandanas; they were spinning on their back and all sorts. And Nathan was sort of slightly out of his depth because he knows a lot of jazz hands and like pa-cha. And so he was leading this call, and he said, "So young man, at this point in the music, you'd probably say something like, yo." That was it, call over. I'd gone, I had to leave the room. Couldn't look at him anymore. It was just absolutely classic. We had to call a break, and lots of us left because we had to leave him to it because it was just too brilliant. And also when we were working in Azerbaijan, Nathan was the director of this particular show. Amazing. It was ever so much fun. It's actually one of my favourite things to work on because it was just so harmonious once the initial stages happened. It was a very harmonious, fun bunch of people. And anyway, so he was directing the grandfather. There was a grandfather in it, right? And he was directing this particular cast member. And so we were, as stage management, we're quite interested where people come on and off stage, like literally where they arrive from, just so we can work out the movement of them, and so that so we get the lights on in the right place, etc. So I said to Nathan, he was in the middle of directing, there was a lot of emoting. A lot of Brechtian, lots of raw Shakespeare, directing down there. Anyway, so we said, so Nay, where does he come from? And he went, I think he comes from Baku, and I think he's from the Azerbaijan version of the IRS. Started doing his CV. We went, no, Nay, where does he come from? Like, which bloody door? Again, had to call a break. Everybody was good for absolutely nothing. Like Frankie says, what's war good for absolutely nothing. So he just reminded me of two cracking stories. And actually, that brings me nicely on to, stand by Bethany, when we lift these off. Right. Because I know that Nathan likes a prop. Right. So these are from Baku. I fell in love with them in a Azeri shop. Azeri shop. I love them, right? As I said before in another episode, I don't like shopping, but gift shops and indigenous stuff, I'm on it, all over it. I loved it, right? I love the line. And Matt does little drawings like this, so it just reminds me of him. Right, I'll take these off now. Oh no, I won't. Anyway, so I thought I'd check
because half the puzzle and them are...
I will now, Beth, and I will check for puzzle because otherwise fiancée Zoe, will lose her Devonshire mind. Anyway, so I thought, I'm gonna, because I bought so much shit to carry home, I'm gonna have to send them back. And there was a post. I love post. I love sending post. I love receiving mail. I love letters. I love the whole institution of it, right? I don't think there's a greater pleasure, apart from children, obviously.
Thank you.
apart from receiving a letter. Anyway, so I said I'm going to send those back. So I went to the post office, which was this funny little woman who just smiled a lot and didn't understand a word I said. And in a nutshell, I wrapped them up and I sent them back to the UK for 14 quid, right, from Azerbaijan, which astounded me anyway, because actually I can't send anything in the UK for that much. For that little, should I say. So I was very excited about that. And also, they arrived from Baku to Mati in 2 days. So I was very, very excited about the entire process. I loved the cushions. I loved the postal service. I loved everything. I loved the cheapness of that. I just thought it was amazing that you could pop something in the post in Azerbaijan and 2 days later it ends up in the Essex. I was marvelling at it. So I rang Matt and said, Matt, did you get the surprise? Did you get the surprise? And he just said, why on earth would you send me those? Now, I was so like forlorn, because I was like, they're just brilliant though, aren't they? So we don't need any more cushions, Joe. Like, we don't need novelty mugs. Don't bring any more novelty mugs back. I was like, but Matt, they're so good. They're drawings like you were doing. They're Azeri. They're like local Azeri. They're by local Azeri artists. No, it wasn't a bit of it. Anyway, so those cushions. Edge bit. Edge. Try that. Edge bit. Oh, please. Beth, please don't make me laugh. Beth, look at where the fat edge is. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, nice one. Is it there? Does it go there? Does it join to that house? Yes. Yes. There's only a couple of bits missing at the edge now. I hope you can see this. I'm going to move these bits. I hope you can see this because I've done quite a lot of this down here, but I know that don't even go there, Beth. Yeah, it's working. Oh, I thought you turned it off then. It's about to be 6. I've got to put my potatoes on in a minute at 7. I've done quite a lot of this bit. We're cracking on with it, but you can't always see it because yesterday Matt did the camera for me, and it was just didn't have the edges, which was a huge disappointment to I know many people. So anyway, my cushion story. So I get excited about simple things, and yeah, I was brought down in flames by Matty. So as a result, these cushions don't live indoors. They're outside cushions, like in the summer, and then they live in this shed. But that really made me laugh. Right, so where were we? Oh yeah, the sourdough. We're Matt's. What's his name?
Fred.
Fred. Thanks. Fred is making some more. I'm forgetting everything. Yeah. Nanny rang yesterday, and she went, oh hello Beth, could you go and get me some first class stamps? I've got to send a couple of things to our lovely, to lovely people. So she went, yeah, okay. So she said, I'll drop them off. And she said, well, I'm naked at the moment. We were laughing so Nan was like just totes being naked in her house, right? And it sprang to her mind that she needed stamps. We were laughing, going, oh, isn't that funny? Then Mum couldn't see it, didn't understand. It was just like a natural thought process. I'm naked, I need stamps, gotta ring it in. Oh, does that go there? No. But she came round again for a little cup of tea. We said, come on, sit in the shed and be social distance and JigJaw. She went, oh no, I'm going to get back now. So she left Beth, didn't she?
Yeah.
She's only just gone. But she had a nice pair of little gold shoes on. She dressed herself right up. So Beth, I'm putting all of the brickwork.
More windows.
Okay, so look, brickwork around the edges and everything else inside. Because all the different brickworks have got different colours.
If you can find any of that, Mum.
Yeah, but you moved the load onto there. I'd say that's perilous putting them over here, but we'll sort that out in our own time. I'm going to go over there and do some bits because
I'll come around here then.
You go around there. I'm going to move around. I'm going to take my notes though. Bit on the floor.
Bit on the floor.
Bit on the floor.
2 bits on the floor.
So I took the opportunity. Sorry, Nathan. I'm just going to move that cockchafer up here for a minute. So I looked at Matt yesterday. I said, what are you watching? I said, I just need to know what you're watching because obviously it's comedic. And he said, well, he told me it's called Odd Life Crafting. And Odd Life Crafting. And I think it was about boats. But he was watching somebody go up and down a main brace and chamfer something. But I lost him to that yesterday while I was trying to chat. So Google that. That'll make you laugh. Odd Life Crafting. And I bet Matt's brother goes, oh yeah, I love Odd Life Crafting. Oh, it's fabulous. So he won't laugh at that. He'll just think, well, of course he's watching that. It's excellent. I was thinking about why I was so swift to say, like cousin little nephew George messaged yesterday and said, Auntie Ju, would my chances of a girlfriend be scuppered by my replaying of Dungeons and Dragons? And I was very quick to say yes, and I thought about it overnight, and I still believe yes. I think anything that encourages you sitting in your bedroom in the dark, being, something sort of slightly medieval or whatever you're doing, throwing a 12. Well, how many sides did it have? That in the question, Beth. How many sides does a game? Was it Dungeons and Dragons dice have?
Is it 8?
No, I thought it was 8. like 20 or something. I mean, no, you could be there for years, George, and you could be missing out on some absolute hotties. So no. And I'll put you in touch with the Commodore of Carshalton Beaches, because he is the lover man, and he knows how to woo. Honest to God, he's mysterious, he's quiet, but he's stealthy, and he lures women in with his sort of mystique and his testosterone. He sort of lures them in and stuff, and then they're caught like a little spider in a web. No, a fly in a web, because the spider's already in it. So I'm going to put you in touch with him, because if you need to woo, the Commodore's your man. I mean, he's upfront and dangerous. I haven't heard, because I don't think that Claire from Beckenham has caught up yet with all of the episodes, so she's not aware that we're all desperate to know what this trolley's all about. Where's that trolley? We're all desperate to know what that's about. So I don't think because I think she would have messaged me. She's pretty hot on it if she's mentioned. She's very diligent in telling me what's going on. So you'll have to hold fire. But if you were thinking overnight, wonder what the cock that trolley has in it. I think it's obviously a lot of pearls, spare pearls. For if the pearly king and queen, catch something in a revolving door, or they're going into Iceland and suddenly, they get caught in the freezers. You've always got a trolley full of pearls, but that's the only thing I can imagine. But I think I probably will be filled in quite a lot about that. And actually, my mother-in-law, because she was so excited she got because of her nakedness in the garden the other day. The Iceland delivery driver dropped off an extra extra set of fabs, lollies. He just pushed them through the door. Oh no, twisters. I beg your pardon, twisters. So I think whether she has the delivery next week, I think she's going to step it up a notch, because I think she wants magnums. So I think God knows what she's going to do to the delivery driver this week. We'll see. We'll find out, because what's excellent is she tells me, which is bold, but she obviously wants it to be out there. Nan wanted to. She went to the bottle bank again, successful, 7 jars. She is really getting, considering she lives on her own. Beth, Nan really does get through the jars, don't you think?
Yeah.
She said this was. I said, what are they? What are you getting through? She said, oh, these were just some old horseradish and some old mint jellies and stuff that she found in the top of the fridge, and she wasn't sure whether they were probably for human consumption. So she chucked them. I also think now she rather enjoys this anecdote of being in the, even though she hasn't listened to one since the first 15 minutes of this. I think she quite likes the concept of being involved in the bottle bank stuff, even though she couldn't give a shit and listen, which is fair enough. Oh, there's some great words up this end. I haven't been rollicked by fiancé Zoe today, but to be fair, I had an absolute nightmare uploading this episode, and it wouldn't do it. It did it overnight. Last episode. Oh yeah, the last episode. Thank God for you. Because it just wouldn't go, and for some reason, it's something to do with now, because now I'm recording all on my phone, not doing my little funny camera with the fisheye that made No Fringe Darren sick. I have got no idea why, but it takes about 1.5 years to upload.
I'm going to go and get changed.
You're going? Right, because we're running.
Yes.
Potatoes going on and we're running. Well, I'm shuffling and you're running. Right, see you in a minute, sweets.
Bye.
Now, the landlady of Hove, actually, it's not Terry Thomas that I was thinking. He's got like red, is it Leslie Phillips? Like, ooh, she's a puppet. The other day I mentioned that Matty was making me laugh, saying, oh, she's a puppet on the television. And it just made me laugh so much. But I think it's Leslie Phillips, but I don't know if that's right. Because you said Terry Thomas to me on my comments. Yeah, I think it's him. He just makes me laugh. That whole era of that sort of, oh, he's a puppet, she's a puppet. Can't get away with it anymore. I'm sort of concentrating too much on this jigsaw today. I know some people won't believe it, but up here I've got a lot of these stripy. It's quite pleasing. I've got lots of the stripy blue and yellow there. I am going to do it, even though I'm sweating like a bastard in this very hot shed today. I'm determined to do it. Pigeons on the roof. Pigeon likes it. Yeah, so Phil says hasn't given me any hand. Oh, Matt cycled today. Some people were messaging saying, how fast was his cycle? Faster today again. He did 10 minutes faster yesterday. Faster again. And I had to drive along the seafront today to see Auntie Val and Uncle Felipe. And the amount of mammals, middle-aged men in lycra, was, I mean, unprecedented. And lots of those boys, and it was boys, that's the only reason I'm saying, well, middle-aged men in lycra, yeah. Majority of them, they refuse to use the cycle lane because they think they're too professional, even though they've all had to wedge their stomachs into this unacceptably tight lycra. And most of them have had children, I imagine, but their testicles are so, they wouldn't be able to have children now because their testicles are absolutely like clamped into this sort of lycra chamois bottomed mix. There's just no way they'd be fertile, but anyway, I don't think they care now. So they're too grand. They absolutely refuse to get in the cocking cycle lane. So because of social distancing, the whole seafront's been narrowed, which is fine. And I'm not going very fast. No, I'm in no particular rush. But I was laughing, thinking, you lot, you won't go on that cycle lane, so you can't go past them because you will run them over. And I think they sort of enjoy the power, actually. And I love cycling, and I haven't got a problem with them. But I was laughing, thinking there's an entire cycle lane that's been entirely donated to cyclists, and you're not having a bit of it, boys. Not a bit of it. Oh, and the box is going to fall down there. Not my box, the lid box. Now, good news. Big Clobber, the oversized clothing shop, which goes up to 8XL locally. It's called bigclobber.com, and I'm not making that up. That's opening soon, so I think my friend might be scooting down from South London because I think Big Clobber will be like, come on, elasticate your waist this way, come on, bring it in, come on, sit down, here's some Velcro shoes, because although we laughed at Velcro shoes last time we went in, I think someone might be needing them, or especially one of those hooks that pushes the Velcro shoes over because you can't reach your own shoes now. But as soon as those shops are opening, I can feel like hearing the sound of the I can hear the scooter coming. I can hear the scooter come. I can just feel it coming. I messaged Matt of Hove. I owe him a FaceTime a lot. This week has sort of just gone bizarrely quickly. So I said, look, what have you been listening to? Because people are asking me because they think your life's hilarious. So I'm going to have to read it out. He said, well, we haven't watched anything particularly, but I was playing early this morning the Broadway cast album with Julie Harris in Skyscraper. Sounds fun, doesn't it? And I looked that up, and it was a musical from 1960. It played on Broadway 1965 to 1966. So it's really current. In fact, that's particularly modern for Matt of Hove, actually. That's almost like, it's actually probably in the hit parade, because he likes to have, usually something like 1935, isn't it, or something? Pre-war stuff, is a particular favourite. So, yeah, I don't know, I hardly recognise him these days. Now, where shall I go? So can you see what I've done here? This is good, isn't it? I'm getting there. I'm actually putting stuff together. And it was a shame yesterday because I didn't realise until I put it, actually started editing together that you couldn't actually see the fine work I was doing down the bottom here. But yeah, I'm getting there. And, oh, hang on. So yeah, I haven't had anything from the Commodore today. Again, because it went on so late, I think any abuse that I'm going to get and degradation will be winging its way overnight. Right, this is my pile of windows. Now there's this very interesting pile of green. Excuse me, I just have to get I've just got to get this, hold on. It's this sort of round balloony thing. What's that? It's a yellow balloon. Where's the yellow balloon? Oh, no, it's not that. It's great. Talking to myself. Well, yeah, that's the whole premise of this. We were laughing yesterday because I walked into a door. Literally just walked into a door. Just didn't open it. I was so busy just thinking about all sorts of things. I literally walked into it. And it reminded me of many, many years ago. I was doing a corporate do for a very big corporate company who my friend Ari currently works for now, but you don't know, so I'm not naming anything there, I'm not jumping anything. Anyway, did this big event in the offices of this big production company, and all the delegates were there listening. You know, they have to get really early. If you're a delegate, it all sounds like a really nice day out, right? If you're a delegate for a conference, oh great, I can get out of the office. So everybody comes with a bit of, but then you have to be there at something obscene o'clock in the morning, and everybody's like, oh, that's a bit bloody early. Anyway, and then lots of people have to go because they've got to work. So, or it's horrendously boring. So people say, oh, you've got to go, just because I have. Anyway, so I was sort of managing this room, and is that there? No. Oh, so close. I was managing this room, and this one particular delegate got up. It was midway through this conference, and it was extraordinary. There were graphs. I mean, the minute you see a graph, it's all over for me. Anyway, so this delegate got up and was sort of waving to me, going, I've got to go. I was going, okay, no problem. And I thought, well, yes, come this way. Anyway, he was so busy trying to sneak out. He was so desperate to not be caught sneaking that he just went through a door. He just opened a door and went into it. And I knew what it was. It was the cupboard. It was the cupboard where they keep the bleach. It was the cleaner's cupboard. And the problem was he was on the other side of the room. So I couldn't even go because I just couldn't go. Because anyway, I'm glad I didn't, because I thought I was going to be sick laughing. He was in this cupboard, and the thing was, once you're in a cupboard, you know you're in a cupboard, don't you? And then you have to think, I've got to get out of this cupboard. I've got to get out of this cupboard. And people have seen me get in the cupboard. So he was there, I'd say, 8 minutes, because I don't know whether he was hoping that the thing would finish, or he was laughing so much, or he was just died in there. Anyway, very slowly this door went. I couldn't look at him. And, oh God, do you know what? I'm, old, but my job is absolutely hilarious. The things you witness, and you couldn't get away with it necessarily, but I laughed so much. I had to come out of that room as well. I had to come out of there. Bless him. He stood in this cupboard for ages, surrounded by old mops. It was just too late. It was like slow motion. Bloody love. Oh, now these stripy bits are very rewarding to even look at, because I know that I can eventually get these together. How? I don't know. Let's have a look. Oh, I'll tell you what, I think I told you to not waste your life watching White Lines on Netflix. Oh my God, rubbish. I mean, hilariously rubbish. I mean, the lines, the plot is, a basic premise is good, but it gets so ridiculous. I'm going to cough. Don't worry, I had corona. But we're watching Dead to Me. That's great. I really like that. Right, so I'm going to need you to make me go viral, please. Let's get some more listeners in. Let's get this so that when lockdown comes, we can all just come and sit in here, and maybe somebody will say, look, you lot, go and have a nice time, go and chat to each other, and I'll pay you. That's the plan, right? So could you spread me around like I was in the 80s? And look, good. I told you I could get this. I've got this bit. I'm all over it. But I'm going to love you and leave you. And yeah, just think about Nathan tonight, or whenever you're listening to this. Just think of him coming into a huge rehearsal room, surrounded by many, many people, and in an ironed bandana, and just sort of going, yeah, just doing this. And I'll try and do it, and going, young. Right, I love you very much. Look after yourself. I'm going to go have a shower. It's so hot in here. Lots of love, and look out for cockchafers.